B4U Star Stop it is, and I've got an extraordinary gentleman today. You know why? Because, I'm also going through something of the similar phase that he's already going through. He's a super dad, of course, we all know that, and that's what I really love about him. But, he's brilliant with numbers, man, and he knows the pulse of what is there, and that's what Tusshar Kapoor has always had. Known what the audiences want. In fact, it's in the family. The family's always known what the audience wants. Tushar, thanks so much for joining me on the show, yeah?
Thank you so much, Salil. Good to see you after we saw that movie together.
Yeah. But life is very different now. The last 7 months, you've had a lot of time to spend being daddy. And I've actually just realized that it's the toughest thing in the world to do, man. Everything else seems so easy compared to that. And you're a brilliant dad, so I have to congratulate you on that. Really well done, man.
Thank you, Salil. I'm sure you're doing a great job too. Don't give me so much credit. I know even couples are doing as much as single dads and moms, and it never gets easier. It only gets more challenging.
Life sort of changes, perspective-wise. Whenever you move into in your brain, at least the second half. Work-wise, does that translate also for you? Would you say that there's a huge change in the way Tusshar Kapoor thinks, like in the last 5 years?
I think, people feel that, okay, everything is going to slow down, whether it's a social life, whether it's your work life, because of becoming a parent. I think it's the other way around. You start prioritizing so well, and because there's an added responsibility and it's very consuming being a parent. Though it's a great stress buster, but it's very consuming. So you do it all in a way that's very planned. So you keep that extra space and time for yourself, for your work life, and somehow you just get that drive, that motivation and strength to multitask and take on more work than otherwise, and take on more challenges. And I don't know where that strength comes from. I think it's a certain confidence that comes when you're a parent. You just feel more grown up. You just feel like, okay, I can handle this, I can handle that, I can do it all. And even if I take more than what overwhelmed me before, now I feel ठीक है, मंडे को टफ होगा, ट्यूसडे को टफ होगा, वेडनेसडे को थर्सडे को एक ठीक ही हो जाएगा. So you start getting the right perspective on life, and it's not going to be, nothing is here to lock you down. Everything has its time and place, and it all falls in place.
6 or 7 months has changed a lot of perspectives on how media is going to be in the future. At least that's what the thinking is sometimes, And we might have another year or two of corona. Thinkings will change, will be different. Big trouble for international distributors, especially for big films. One of the biggest films of the year is your film as well, Laxmii. But otherwise, as a film producer, do you get insecure because you suddenly realize I might have to do with lesser of a spread than I had earlier? Because now, yes, you're coming online, but otherwise also, do you think now that things are really going to be different over the next 2-3 years, or do you think that eventually it'll all be normal?
I think whatever the circumstances, good content will find its audience. That's what I believe. And as far as spread is concerned, I feel now it could be that the spread is wider, in fact, because suddenly everything has to be online, whether it's movies or whether it's TV shows. TV to obviously is on, but I'm saying web shows are online, but movies have to go online. So now they can be viewed anywhere, under any circumstance. You could be in your friend's house, you could be in another country. You don't really need to be located in a certain place, and you don't need to.
But the downside is you might not watch it at one go. That's also the case where you might end up watching the whole film. But where the restriction of space in one location and the mahal of film was in wo 2-2.5 घंटे बैठना है, that might change.
अगर अच्छी लगी तो खत्म ही कर लेंगे, ऐसा नहीं अभी कर लेंगे या बाद में कर लेंगे, खत्म तो कर ही लेंगे. अगर अच्छी लगी वो है, और बार बार देख सकेंगे. एंड एक अकाउंट पे 15-20 लोग और आके देख सकते हैं. इट्स नॉट दैट आपको 15-20 टिकटें लेनी पड़ेंगी. नाउ यू कैन 15-20 people can go. So I'm seeing it as a galaxy which is much wider, and the spread is much wider. Of course, it's going to be hard to put a number to it. But I believe Akshay Kumar sir is here to change the game. Every time he comes, he changes the game. And he has made 4 films a year when actors were doing 1 film in 2 years. And he has made that work. So, जो film चलनी है, जो actor चलना है, जो चीज चलनी है, वो अपनी audience ढूंढ ही लेती है. And I'm hoping that, given the fact that Hotstar is mass, it's not just a very niche platform. It has the IPL, and it's got a worldwide base. So that whole idea of यहाँ थिएटर खुली है वहाँ नहीं खुली है, इंटरनेशनल डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स यहाँ थिएटर खोल रहे हैं वहाँ उनको स्ट्रेस है, वो नहीं रहेगा क्योंकि अब अगर आपके पास हॉटस्टार हो तो आप जहां जहां हॉटस्टार है आप इस फिल्म को देख सकते हैं. एंड इन इंडिया बरेली हो या फिर इंदौर हो या फिर तमिलनाडु हो, सब तो आईपीएल देखते ही हैं. सो आई फील this movie is getting placed correctly, and it is not a very niche film. It is a very very commercial and a film that will appeal to families and masses and classes and kids, and it's one of that. It's a Diwali film. Yeah. So it's coming at the right time also. So let's. I mean, I'm not saying that I have it all together. None of us have it all together in these extraordinary circumstances. But what I'm saying is that an OTT platform can be a better option than releasing films in the cinemas, especially today.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And it's a very brave film also. It's incredible. The first look, the response, the makeup, everything was like fantastic. It was a great decision by you and Akshay sir as well to get into this collaboratively. When you think of something like this, you would never have thought a film like this would have come out with him in it. But he's been somebody who sort of tried very different things in the last 4 or 5 years. They've all worked. Some have sent a message out, some have been very commercial. They've all made money, of course. But this is also a very brave film for you as a producer also. So, your thinking has always been like that.
No, I won't say I have been brave. I saw the film, the original film, and I loved the film. I thought it was damn entertaining, and yes, you can say I understand the business side of films and I understand growing up in this film industry and having watched so many Hindi films from childhood, I understand what it is to make a film work towards a wider audience. But the bravery, I think, comes with the actor because he is a macho man, a macho hero with an action image. And but for him, it wasn't bravery. For him, it was, wow, I want this opportunity and I'm going to do this film because I want to get into that character. I want to wear that sari. I want to do all those things that people are not used to seeing me in. And tab maza aayega. And he's also smart. He knows that if I play it right, it's something that seems challenging. It can become an opportunity. In fact, So I think he's the game changer of this film. I think he's the USP of this film, and he's the risk taker. If you would ask me, for us to have Akshay Kumar in our film is not so much of a risk.
It's a very good investment, and I think you all have picked out this investment at the right time. It's like choosing like a stock. You choose a stock at the right time, it gives you good dividends. This one is going to give them very good dividend also. But one of the biggest questions that the world had was when you have such a big star, would you as a producer have wanted to wait a little longer and think, let's see, like it happened with James Bond and Batman. A lot of them are not sure, a little bit not scared, but he's a really big star. You can either break the medium, and say you've got Akshay Kumar there, but that is your call. Would you have wanted to wait a little longer for the new year or no?
Initially, of course, we wanted to wait a little longer because we all were optimistic कि अगस्त में खुल जाएंगी थिएटरें, सितंबर में खुल जाएंगी या फिर अक्टूबर में खुल जाएंगी. फिर लेकिन सिचुएशन ऐसा हुआ नहीं कि सुधरने लगी सिचुएशन, and from March to May it got worse. And then June was even worse. So around that time we spoke to one another and we came to a decision that we have no idea when things are going to be normal. And if we have a distributor that owns its own digital wing, as far as online streaming is concerned. So when we have our own great platform that is doing so well, that why lose out on this opportunity? Why try and wait for something that we don't know will be feasible? When? For something that we don't know will be feasible when? So that was the question, and I think we took an informed decision. And given that, I think, in fact, I know that this is the first big film of the year post the lockdown. This is Sir's first film after very long, and it's a Diwali film. So I believe we took the right decision because otherwise we would have lost the festival period. We would again be waiting in the wings for everything to return to normal. And who knows, even today after 7 months, I still don't know when the theaters are going to be opening over. I still don't know when, after they open, when are people going to come out in a way that they don't have any fears and everything is going to be houseful. वो किसी को पता नहीं है. तो मुझे लगता है कि
no, it's the right decision. But
sometimes you got to just let let the universe take its course. Sometimes you've got to just hold your horses and say, okay, what I have in at present right now is the right thing. Don't think about the past and the future. Think about the present.
We take a little break and come right back. Tushar, being an actor, producer, the Fridays used to be, are we going to get the numbers? How do they handle now? Is it going to be streams? Because sometimes you can have billions of streams and yet not make any money. So how does that mathematics work out in their head? We'll come right back. Don't go anywhere. You're with me, Salil on Star Stop, Tusshar Kapoor in a producer avatar, Laxmii, the film that has made so many waves. With Akshay Kumar's look and everything. Yes, a remake of a South film, but he's done it so beautifully well. Tushar, thanks so much for joining us. My big question, how do you handle the Fridays now, which is not going to happen with this film? You're going to be less nervous now, right? So this is actually a very chilled out scenario for you. You don't have to worry about the box office numbers. You're not going to be looking at frantically with the exhibitors and the distributors. So how are you going to handle this part? What is the measurement that you're going to be looking at?
It's going to be nervous irrespective because all of us part of the film industry, whether we have a film releasing in a theater or whether it's a film releasing online or whether it's a film releasing in drive-in theaters also.
Yeah.
We're all suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, all of us. Because we've all, including you, myself, we've all gone through those strange and weird silences that accompany anything that, awaits a verdict and that needs some sort of validation. So we all have gone through that. So every product when it's out of the market as far as entertainment is concerned is going to bring with it some sort of goosebumps. But I like to believe that Friday doesn't need to be Friday fever. It can also be Friday. Let's look at it that way. It can also be Friday. Yeah. So nervousness to hogi. Of course, the what would I say? The modalities have changed with online streaming. So it's not like morning you have certain reviews coming, and then afternoon there are certain reviews coming, and then the collections come out in the night, and then somebody's saying something. So वो गंदगी नहीं रहेगी for sure.
But I have to ask you about that. Do you think film reviews were one of the biggest reasons for the breaking of A, relationships ties, B, as we know now, people just tend to believe what comes out first, not necessarily what is more detailed. B, what is not horses for courses. So you have people that might be driving a super, a luxury car and might want to actually cater to a person driving a cycle. I actually believe that film reviews in the last 5 years are one of the biggest enemies for film industry in general, even with people. And with access to so many mediums like Facebook and Twitter and everything, it just created this very negative air around all of us. Do you agree?
It's okay. It's good. I think there should be all kinds of voices that exist. And I think that's what's part of a thriving business or a thriving democracy and a thriving economy and everything that really thrives, it shouldn't be silenced. So that's great that we have platforms that say a lot of things. However, I believe that water seeks its own level. So eventually the truth always comes out. Yeah. And even in the case of films, no matter what chaos takes place on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, by Monday, there is clarity, there is method to the madness, and the word of mouth reigns. So even though now, of course, it's going to be different. Trade magazines won't be talking about, OTT releases the way it was earlier. However, that word of mouth barometer is still going to be there. And that is the main barometer. That really tells you what people are perceiving about this film and what people are perceiving about any web show, no matter, how...
Scam was a very big example of how word of mouth really helped. It became a big show much later on, I think that maybe this is...
He got a big hit today.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And Sir की film आती है तो obviously चर्चा तो होगी ही, तो nervousness तो होगी ही कि क्या है, लेकिन obviously इस बार जो है वो system थोड़ा अलग होगा और लेकिन result का इंतजार तो इस बार भी होगा.
Do you like being a boss also sometimes when you're... I know that, you have a keen eye for everything, So when you're a producer, are you a boss producer or are you somebody who just likes to chill on the side and just see how things are going and then, make sure all the ends are sort of covered and, you're like the Suraksha Kavach around the entire production. Which boss are you?
You see, I was in charge of this part of the production that we did in this film. I was in charge of the finance and the legal aspect of it. So you have to balance it out. Partly be a little bit on the periphery and guide, and sometimes you got to really like get into it and just get the bull by its horn. So a combination of both, and eventually it does become a hands-on job. It's like your baby. So no matter how much you just try to be this suraksha kavach, if you try and be too much of a suraksha kavach, फिर आपकी सुरक्षा ही सुरक्षा पे आ जाएगी. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You have to be a little bit of
Are you very good with numbers? That's why.
and then you have to be.
Are you very good with numbers and finances? Is that why also that you're always at the head of it?
I'm very good at numbers and all, but movie production is a ball game which, no matter how good a mathematician you are, no matter how genius you are, it will throw you off completely with so many variables and so many factors coming into play, and you gotta just be ready with all kinds of options, and your intelligence and your survival instincts have to be on display when you least expect it to. So आपकी एक स्किल अगर हो अच्छी जो मैथ की हो, उससे कुछ नहीं होना. आपको बहुत सारी चीजें आनी चाहिए if you want to save your film sometimes, and if you want to really see that it gets its right, gets its due and reaches the most deserving conclusion. So it's not a cakewalk for even I think IIT majors will learn a lot if they start doing production.
You never look worried, but I see producers. When I see cricketers, their hair will become white, they'll lose hair, something will happen. You as a producer, it's not, this is possibly, where you've been in this line for so long. Production, acting, this, that, A to Z, you're always involved in everything. I've always seen this big wide smile on your face. You're always out there, and you intently listen. A lot of actors after a point of time, I call them just the talking, listening kinds. You're not like that. You do listen to every word. You will pick up on these various bits. So you're still very innocent in this film line as compared to a lot of other paka hua people. How we managed to maintain that, considering that, your household also is this only?
I'm no way innocent. I'm quite sensitive that way. And I perceive a lot of what doesn't seem like I perceive, but I perceive it all. And it does throw me, it just puts me off guard a number of times, if that's the right phrase, or you could say I also get bent out of shape a number of times. And this is the nature of this profession. No matter how strong you are, you will have to really go through emotional ups and downs. And I'm a human being like everyone else, and I do get very, very stressed sometimes. But I'm very resilient. I don't let it consume me, and I don't let any of my insecurities really take over me. So I don't get defensive and start competing outwardly, or start, my way of standing up for myself is not to really be heard and be seen. I get affected, and then I'm strong in my own way that, okay, I will get my due. And no matter what you do, my voice will be heard, and where I need to be, I will be there eventually. I don't need to shout it out. I don't need to really scream it out, and I don't need to put you down in that to get my due. So that's my personality. Like I would say that I am soft, but I'm also very, very strong and resilient. So
these traits are perfect for a producer, man. That's what you need to do. You need to roll with the punches and keep that happy face out. When you have a film like this, making a film which is not a risk, but the Hindi market sometimes can be because of the star that is involved. But then did you show it to a close group of people, and were they all in a unison thumbs up, or did you have some people were little wide-eyed? What are the reactions that you got?
For the film? For this film?
No, not the original. For Laxmii. With Akshay.
When I saw it for the first time, I was like, this is, Hindi cinema, the vintage Hindi cinema at its best, with a new packaging, old wine in a new bottle. And this is, when I see this film, I think of Amar Akbar Anthony, I think of Mr. Natwarlal, I think of Dharamveer, I think of all those films that, you come out feeling like, oh my God, paisa vasool, matlab paise ka double mil gaya. That kind of a thing. And there's also something that really sets it apart and makes it a 2020 film. So I was very kicked by it. Then of course, then everybody's brainstorming starts, and then you start tweaking this, tweaking that. वो तो चलता ही रहता है till the movie comes out, which is good for a film. कि ये थोड़ा कम कर देते हैं, ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा कर लेते हैं. And Sir had his own opinion, Shabina had her own opinion, I had my own opinion. But when I see a film, I see it from the heart. Even if it's emotional, I came out from the first edit, the final edit of the first rush print. And I said, oh my God, this is like, Shabina, Rowdy Rathore एक film थी, ये वैसी बन सकती है agar everything is on our side, this can become another Rowdy Rathod. I hope I keep my fingers crossed and I hope things fall into place. And in all humility, I love what I saw. That's what I told her.
Akshay Kumar, is he critical of his own work when he watches it? Because he's always told me he never waits for the release of his film. On a normal time, he used to leave out. On Friday, he used to go off. But when he's watching it with y'all, is he very critical of his work, or is he like now in a very different space?
I don't know, he's amazing. I just want to be like him. He is so cool. In the sense, I'm sure things affect him. I'm sure he's sensitive about his work, like all of us are. Like I said, even I'm very sensitive. But he knows how to deal with whatever he likes, whatever he doesn't like. He doesn't take what he likes too seriously. He doesn't take what he doesn't like too seriously. He takes, this is my job, and I have to do it to the best of my abilities, and then I move to the next project. Yeah. So I see him, on a Friday, whether his film has worked or not, he's handling that part of it, and then he's taking a flight for an outdoor to the next film. So it's great to be like that, because we all need to understand that no matter what we do, we can't control everything about our work. In this line, at least, a lot of it is beyond your control. And as I said earlier, let the universe decide what it has for you, and you'll be happier that way. And he knows how to be happy. He's one person. He's somebody who he's an example for what people like you, me, and newcomers who are going to come into the industry, they should really get inspired from.
And you know what? He's very modest about it also. And Tushar likes to stay in the background, but he's also someone to really get inspired by. There's just a number of things that he does. I have the highest respect for him. I always have. Because just how you've handled everything around you, and considering that you're in actually one of the largest families that have changed the way Indians have viewed things, whether it's TV, whether it's online, now whether it's cinema. It's really fantastic, man. I love that.
Thank you. Didn't you start with us? I think you started with us, no?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. With television. Television was the days when I did start off in my initial days with Balaji Production House at that point of time. Yes. Thanks a lot. See you soon. 2004 to now. I remember those days of sense of relief when Tusshar Kapoor used to see your scene, because Ekta Kapoor used to look at Tushar and say, "Is it nice?" Yeah, it works. I will see you again soon. Some old memories also being revisited here. Till the next time on Star Stop. Bye-bye.